And we're live. Greetings, friends. Happy Saturday, and welcome back to The Last of Us Part 1 live stream. How are you? The Last of Us Part 2 does not exist on this channel. It starts and ends with this game. How are you? What's new? I have been thinking more and more about the 24-hour stream. How just the logistics of it, how we could do it. And certainly I'm not going to be sitting here for 24 hours. There's no way I could do it. You know, I have to walk the dog. I have to sleep. I have to eat. But we could keep videos running for 24 hours. And I am a little bit worried about the chat. But I think we could amp up the restrictions to you have to be subscribed for at least a year to comment. And that should eliminate a lot of the detritus. And so we could see what happens. You know, it's like, and just keep it running. And I would check in every hour. And load up another video for you guys. And if you're here, I will talk to you. I will respond to the chats that came in from the previous hour. And then I just, jump off. And then jump in randomly, checking the computer. If someone's here and someone wants to talk, ask a question or something. I don't know. Thinking about it. I don't know when I could do it, though. I like the idea of a Halloween birthday stream, 24-hour stream. Because that's, a long ways away, and I don't have to think about it or deal with it. It's like, I don't think I'm emotionally and physically ready to do it for like the 4th of July, maybe Memorial Day. These Firefly medals, you're supposed to collect them. You need them for 100%. I don't really care. Much more interested in Riddler trophies, if you know what I mean. Sadie's happy to be here. She just had a bath, so she's all clean, and she's tired now. Hey, Ellie. Anyways, we are moving on with Joel and Ellie, and we're going to take a shortcut through the sewers because that seems like a good idea. And what could possibly go wrong? Spoiler alert! Everything will go wrong. At any rate, we're going to do it. Here we go. I spent all day fooling around with Batman, Arkham Knight. Ironically, this is the only game that's actually for the PS5, even though, it's a PS5 remaster. It looks beautiful. And the combat mechanics and the animations are improved. However, this is the least popular franchise on this channel. What's that about? And technically the most modern game. As always, the most popular is Arthur, of course, which I guess makes sense. That Piebald Tobiano live stream did exceedingly well in terms of views and likes. And then in second place is Batman Arkham Knight, an even older game. But everybody loves Batman. And I've noticed something interesting, that the biggest Batman video game channels are all British. You guys, Brits love Batman, which and biggest in terms of the most subscribers and, the most views. And I think that's interesting because Batman to me is uniquely American, like Superman. And, you can also say that he's the yin to Superman's yang. Anyways, we'll talk about Batman more tomorrow. Let's talk about Joel and Ellie, shall we?
Do you think they'll join
pick up these random supplies. Don't really need to read these letters. They're a little sad. Bolts always come in handy. We need those for upgrades. As you know, we're going to fully upgrade Joel and his weapons, and then we're going to power through on a new game plus. This is technically our first playthrough on the PS5, but we played this game a bunch on the PS4. And it remains one of my favorite games. It really does. Here's Henry and Sam. I think Sam's the younger one. I can't recall. But don't get attached. Joel wants to go down here just in case we missed something. Sadie smells good. You can smell her from here. Not that she ever smells bad. But her fur is all soft and clean and conditioned. Use a shampoo conditioner. Miko Herptile says, hello, Super Antonio City mods and everyone. Greetings, Miko. Happy Saturday or Sunday for you. Appreciate you being here, friend. Just kind of hanging out, talking about The Last of Us, and thinking about a 24-hour stream.
Can we get out this way?
24-hour unmoderated wild west stream. I definitely want to do one for Halloween birthday, and we could do like Undead Nightmare and Arthur themed scary stuff. Again, checking in every hour and then loading up like a 4 or 6 hour video for when we finally go to sleep. But that, you know, it's like I could just check in and tell you about the day, what I had for lunch, what I'm going to do next, what happened on the walk. I could check in before the walk, check in after the walk. Be kind of fun. Yeah, so I'm thinking about it. So definitely we'll do one for the holidays, for like Halloween and perhaps Christmas and maybe even New Year's. But I don't know if we could do anything sooner. I just don't feel I'm emotionally or physically prepared. Definitely would want to do a Batman stream because it'd just be fun. Move that pallet, but first, let's see what's behind this door. Spoiler alert, nothing good. Usually this works, but it didn't this time. See, it just kind of stunned them, and they're still moving. And there's one more. Here he comes. I like doing the last minute shot. It's more dramatic, and you have a better chance of one-shotting him. There's stuff in here, of course. That's why we went in. Sadie's here for the potent canine bait. $25 bolts. That'll really come in handy. Okay, now we can move on. Joel can swim. Ellie can't. And I know it's I don't know if it's a DLC, but there's an Ellie mission called Left Behind that we have not played yet. Interestingly enough.
Oh, there you go. That's smart.
We really need to play that. I kind of don't want to, just because once we do, we've pretty much done everything we can do in this game. And I hate that. But yeah, we have to do it. Because once the game's done, it's, you know, for me, emotionally, that just means it's done. You know, it's like, there's nothing new to discover. There's nowhere else to go. There's nothing more that we can, achieve or accomplish. And I think we've seen this footage before. I think we're getting deja vu. And I apologize, friends. This is what I've got for us tonight. Let me check. Hold on a second. Lunacy just subscribed. Thank you, friend. Appreciate you. Happy Saturday. Where are we? Okay, let's see. I'm just checking this footage because it seems familiar to me. No, this is new. Okay, never mind. Never mind. We're in the right place. It's dark in here. Why is it so dark? Let's split up. No, actually.
What's up with this?
We'll split up later.
Maybe.
Are we really going to...
Sam is useless.
It's a soundtrack.
It's a little bit of a jump scare. There's nothing in here. Wish we had detective mode. Well, listening mode is kind of like detective mode, but we picked up the shorty. Love that.
Place like this safe.
And there's weapons, or there's ammo scattered about. Very handy. And an upgrade. Thank you very much. That'll come in handy.
Hey, Sam.
Yeah.
Stand by the post over there.
Okay.
Need that tape.
Ready?
Okay, do it.
Just gonna, stand there.
Really wish we could load more ammo, and really wish we could craft arrows. And this is, this scene that that's going on in the background with Ellie and Sam playing a little soccer, acting like kids, being kids during the apocalypse. It's nice. I wish we should have spent more time paying attention to that, but Joel just wants to go through and level up. So we'll pay more attention next playthrough, because we're not going anywhere. Just because you don't like this game doesn't mean that I don't love this game. Though actually, if we do get Stellar Blade, I'm going to move Stellar Blade to Sundays. We'll do Stellar Sundays because I love the sound of that. I love the alliteration. And then we'll alternate Batman Arkham Knight and Last of Us. The Last of Us Batman streams. On Saturdays. Because I like this schedule. Let's craft a bit. As long as we're here. I have all the cutscenes loaded up on a massive 11-hour video. How's that done? Let me check. In terms of views. I recall that took forever to load up, to upload. Let me check. Videos, cutscenes. Yeah, I did a black and white series. Maybe I didn't load them all. I have them by chapter in black and white. But it doesn't look like I did the whole 11-hour video. I wonder why. Anyways, okay, never mind. Never mind. Let's deal with these. Don't be scared. Sadie's not scared. Sadie says, hi, Miko. She's on high alert. She's all clean. One of these jokers has ammo, as I recall. Yeah. Probably that was probably his shorty. Wonder why he left it. It's an odd place to hold up and fortify the sewers. You know, because it's damp and there's rats. And it's maze-like. There's, you know, it would be difficult to fortify this place, I would assume. Miko says, she looks more sleepy than alert. Haha, are you sleepy? Yeah, I guess you are a little sleepy. It's been a long day for her. She has one final burst of energy after she gets out of the shower. And then we have then she has her dinner, her din-din, and then she wants to settle in. And we're going to be playing a little Batman Arkham Knight after this stream. Because I'm loving that game. See, this Kyle just being dark, and there's Kyle, but he has some Tylenol. We need that. Sorry, Kyle. You would think the rats would have eaten him. Maybe they did. Maybe they are. But yeah, it's damp. There's mold. I can't imagine it smelling good. It's hard to defend. It's hard to fortify. And I would rather be above ground. I think it would be, well, I don't know if it would be easier, but you know, just like Tommy's compound is a optimal situation. You want to be above. Cloudy says, howdy, Agent Superantonio and Sadie. Greetings, Cloudy. I'm glad you can appreciate my Agent 47 outfit. And Cloudy says, howdy, Miko. There's their water solution. Fresh water, essential to survival, and I guess you get a lot of that in the sewers, even though they look like they were doing some kind of rainwater catching situation. We're going to move on to the suburbs, if you know this game, but we are not going to do the sniper scenario tonight, which is one of my favorite scenarios in this game. That kicked our A the first time we did it. But now that I know where to go and where everybody is, it's just a lot of fun. See, they had kids in here, nursery. They set up a little school. Why didn't they just make it to the quarantine zone? I think if I were in this situation, that's what I would do to survive. I wouldn't want to be out there. I wouldn't be like Bill, just, you know, fortifying an entire town and just trying to live by yourself. You do need people, and yes, they're going to be fascist, and yes, you're going to have a job, but, you know, at least you'd be around some kind of civilization. Cloudy says, I hate this part of the game. It's scary when you play in the dark. We're almost out of here. See, Ellie won't let us go back up those stairs. I know exactly where we want to go. I just wanted to see if we could go backwards. Or Joel knows. If we had the bat claw, we could just fly right out of here. Oh, I learned a new combo. I suppose I should talk about it tomorrow night for Batman Arkham Knight. But you can use the bat claw to disarm enemies. And that's very convenient. I cannot recall why we wanted to restart. Let's restart it again. We weren't ready. I'm showing you the raw footage tonight because I didn't have anything prepped for you.
Hey, we're gonna search
Well, I
this
guess we're
area.
just going to start over.
That was intense. You cool?
Well, we were almost done, Cloudy, but we started over for you.
Hey, maybe we can find something in that boat over there.
Way ahead of you, kid.
Keep your eyes peeled.
We should upgrade that pipe. Cloudy says, no. Well, you know, Joel needed to go back for that comic book for Ellie. I wish we had a scene anytime you collect a comic book where you would give it to Ellie. Found another comic book for you. Thanks, Joel. Because I like how Ellie's a reader.
I'm on a boat.
You know, that's so important, especially when you're young, when you're her age. That's how you learn the world. And you know, at 14, she's basically educating herself now.
Hey, Allie. I think we found something.
Let's go see what it is.
Also, I don't know if the 14-year-olds of today are reading anymore, regrettably. They're reading their phone
Hey, I bet this goes all the way through.
for what it's worth.
Give me a hand.
Same time.
Excuse me.
Let's do it.
I'm still here. Just had to. I have some dog hairs on my nose, so I had to wipe my nose.
Come on, kids, go.
And you don't need to see that. That's better. That's the thing about having a dog. They shed.
Right, you go in. Okay.
Cloudy says, I would like to have the comic books from The Last of Us. I want to do a video on all the comic books, collecting all the comic books and then reading the back pages so we could actually read the story. I'm sure I have all of them in random videos, but you know, it's like we'd have to scroll through and find the exact footage.
We'll check this side out.
Me neither. You ain't got much of a choice.
If you can get it open, I can crawl through and clear that door. Oh, yeesh. That is a big rat.
All that rust and damp and mold and rats. You're not supposed to breathe in rat feces dust. That's not good for you. And people were living here, surviving somehow. Not very well, because it got overrun. Yeah, that's why I would like to be above ground. You have more options. Cloudy says, I'm reading Prince of Thorns by Mark Lawrence. It's so dark. I'm glad you're reading, Cloudy. I don't know that. Let's look it up. Prince of Thorns. Are you reading an actual book, or is it like an e-book, or is it like, are you reading it on your phone, or, you know, are you like turning pages? When he was 9, he watched his mother and brother killed before him. By the time he was 13, he was the leader of a band of bloodthirsty thugs. At 13, Cloudy, are you sure? Is he a big giant 13-year-old? I don't understand. By 15, he intends to be king. Does he now? What about all the other adults who have a claim to the throne? It's time for Prince Honorus and Jorg Ancrath to return to the castle he turned his back on and take what's rightfully his. Oh, okay, so he has so it's his birthright. Okay, fine. Don't really love the fantasy genre. I mean, Lord of the Rings trilogy is one of my favorite movie trilogies of all time, and I do love The Witcher, Wild Hunt, which also did not do well on this channel. Witcher Wednesdays that was a shame. I'm glad we found Batman though. Batman does great. Everybody loves Batman. You would think they would love Geralt, but again, maybe it's because the Netflix series poisoned the well, as it were. That's my theory about why this game is not popular on this channel, because everyone hates the HBO series, and it poisoned the video game. Cloudy says, I ordered the book from Amazon. Well done, Cloudy. Here he comes. The bombs and fire bottles are less effective in the PS5 version for some reason. And I'm not sure why Joel's running away. Cloudy says, can't read digital. I have to have a physical book. LOL. I used to feel the same way, but now I'm all about digital for books. Just because I didn't want to move. I hate moving books. I hate moving. But, you know, it's like, I have like everything I want on my phone. Collected works of Stephen King. H.P. Lovecraft, Charles Dickens. And I used to read on my phone all the time. I used to read on my phone before bed. When I first got her, that was one of the things we'd do. Now, regrettably, we just watch TV. I thought, I was trying to be a good example for her, reading before bed. And I pretty much just read like when I'm waiting for something, if I'm out in the world, waiting to pick up an order to go, or waiting in line. So it looks like I'm addicted to my phone, but I'm actually just reading. And I don't really read anything new. Cloudy, is there any novels you recommend by Stephen King? Yeah, his early works, almost all of his early works. I would read Salem's Lot, The Shining, and The Stand. I would say those are the big three, and you would be very happy with those. It's classic Stephen King. And then It is good, but it's super long and it gets a little sketchy towards the end. I always skip that part.
Here goes nothing.
But Cloudy, I don't know how old you are. I don't know if you're a young adult. But Stephen King was my favorite author when I was a young adult in high school. Let's say like I'd say from 8th grade to like 10th grade, and then I moved on to like H.P. Lovecraft and Poe, and I got dark. Papa One says, "Hey gang, everyone say hi to Papa One and thank him for his service." And Mama One is also here. She says, "Hey family." Sadie's here. She's asleep. Now she's up. She heard your name, Mama One, and we'll give her a reward. I have a different potent canine bait for her tonight because I wanted to show you guys. This is a peanut butter pretzel, and I love these. I eat those. I eat them every day. I don't let her have a bunch of them. That's why we restarted, Cloudy. We needed this tool. We forgot about this tool for upgrading. Now it all makes sense. Okay, we needed the tool. We missed it. That's why Joel wanted to go back. Miko says, "Hello, Mama One and Papa One." Yeah, I eat those peanut butter pretzels every day. I love them. They're one of my favorite snacks. And I will let her. I think they're too salty for her, like as a regular snack. But of course, she loves them, and I'll let her have, a couple here and there. But as far as I know, I've never given her one when we're sitting during a live stream, and they're one of her favorite snacks of all times. It's a high value treat for her. I always give her one, usually before the shower, so she can associate the shower with like, high value treats and a good experience and not get freaked out or bothered by the sound of the water, which she doesn't, to her credit now.
Don't look like that's the case anymore.
Papa One says, oh, here we are. Miko said, "Hello, Mama One and Papa One." Mama One says, "Hey, Sadie, and you look handsome as always, Super Antonio. You're so kind, Mama One. I appreciate you so much. Thank you." Papa One says, "Hey, Miko," and Mama One also says, "Hi, Miko." And Papa One asks, "How are you doing? I hope you're doing well, Miko." Cloudy says, "Have you, I do have Wolves of the Cala, but I never read it." Yeah, I haven't read it either.
Ready? Okay, do it.
And Cloudy says, "Howdy, Mama One and Papa One." And
Henry, did you see that?
Batcat 341 says, "How often do you eat them?" Every day, Batcat. Every day, literally. I don't eat a lot of them. I mean, you can't go nuts on them. They're also a very high calorie treat. I will have like less than 10, of which I'll probably give her one. So I can make a bag last a long time. My theory with dieting is you can eat anything you want. You just can't eat as much as you want. Like, I love potato chips, but you can't have a bowl of potato chips. You could have a quarter of a bowl of potato chips. Excuse me. Talking about diet. Don't have time to field test the shorty. Papa One says, "Hey, Cloudy, how's everything going?" And Mama One also says, "Hey, Cloudy." Sadie had her bath, as always, because it's Saturday. And she is now a clean bird, not a dirty bird.
I guess we know what happened to these.
There's blood in the water. Cloudy says, "I'm doing great, Papa One. How about you?" What's in those oil drums? Don't say oil. They had a visual representation on X-Twitter of how much oil Saudi Arabia produces like every day. And it's just an astronomical amount. It was just like an entire ship of, an entire oil ship full of oil. It was a ridiculous animation of how much oil they have. And Papa One says, we are well. We finished up farm work a little later than usual because the horses decided to go for a swim in the lake. Well, it was a hot day, Papa One. It was a hot time, and the horses. What you know what they say about horses? No, I don't. You can lead a horse to water, and you can't make him swim. I assume at some point they had power. We got the machete.
Jesus.
So yeah, the school, implies that there's still kids. They're still having babies, essential for the survival of the human race.
Hey, you think that leads out?
Could be. It's too hot for a boat.
As always, I don't think you would have the luxury of being a Libikataka during an apocalypse.
Yeah, I'm cool.
You barely have the luxury to get into a regular relationship.
Henry, see if we can lift this.
So, this is awkward.
Sam is useless. Ellie, I'm sure, will certainly carry her own weight, her own water when dealing with Henry and their adventures. But Joel is going to have to take care of everything. Sam's kind of good at hiding, but not really. Spoiler alert. Don't get attached to Sam.
They're gonna be fine.
Okay, this is where we left off. This is exactly where we left off.
See if we can find
I knew we'd get there. We had to get that screwdriver. Even though screwdrivers should be abundant across this game. It's like Jimmy Brooks's pen. It's like Mary Beth's pen. And I've said this before, but it would dovetail quite nicely if we could give Mary Beth Jimmy Brooks's pen. Because what do we need with a steel pen? I guess we're using it on the journal. It's one of them steel ones. As always, we want to stealth as much of these jokers as we can. Saves ammo. That's a good workout. Joel needs to get his cardio in for today. And it's nothing like stealthing a clicker to get your heart rate up. There's detective vision. We've got hearing. Detective vision, hearing, eagle eye. I think almost every video game has some sort of eagle eye situation. I don't recall what it was in The Witcher. And I've noticed with NPCs in all these games, in every game, they have a very limited field of vision. It's perhaps 25% in front of them. They've got no peripheral. They have no peripheral vision, and certainly they don't. Like this guy doesn't, and the bad guys in Batman Arkham Knight don't. And it's very helpful in RDR2 because it shows up on the map what exactly they can look at. See, they got toys down here. Okay, now it's going to go off. If we never really do this strategy, but if you're supposed to be able to run away and hide, and they won't be able to reacquire you, which is a lot easier than just fighting them all off in a giant swarm and running out of ammo, which will happen immediately. Pow! It's too late for that now. Ow. Ow. Reload, Joel, please. Cloudy says there's a game called Gun on the PS2, and it also has Deadeye. Run and gun. Run and reload. This is a different one. It's not exactly a clicker. It's like a runner or something. I forget what they're called. So the HBO version of this, they did a really good job on the world and the infected. You know, it's very authentic. I just have problems with the casting. Excuse me. We were talking about, so rudely interrupted. This is their water treatment plant, I assume. There is no shame in running away. Papa One says, Sam is really just sitting there watching Joel get beat up. Yeah, Ellie can carry her own weight. Ellie, I'm sure, is helping Henry. These guys have no problem running away. But yeah, Sam's just hiding. He found someplace high up. Come here. We got a twitcher.
We're gonna keep going. You good?
Now Sam comes out. I don't even think Sam has a weapon. It's a wonder they survived this long. But they were in a bigger group. Got my green tea tonight. Another chessboard. There's a lot of chess playing in this game.
Looks like it.
I always like when they reference games within video games, because it's like it's showing the origin or the evolution of gamesmanship, playing games. Because certainly this game is not as complicated as chess. But that's what humans are playing for centuries. And you can play chess on video games now. You can play like against computers and stuff. And I'm sure they've got like 3D Harry Potter style chess. Okay, let's get up there. Let's move on. We got one more swarm to deal with, and then we're out of here, and we will reunite with Henry and Ellie. Ellie's fine. This is the one time Sam helps, puts down the ladder.
There we go. Good job, kid.
Cloudy says, I was playing with mods and I took Javier to rob a train and he got canceled. So I picked up his gun. Then I reload the game from desktop and I still have the gun. LOL. Well done, Cloudy. That would make a great video. Because you could deliberately get yourself canceled. And, okay, run. I like this section because at least we get a little daylight so you can see who's coming at you.
Maybe if we push it together.
We're almost out.
What the hell are you doing? Getting us out of here. Well, hurry up then.
All right, go.
Everyone upstairs. Let's go.
Joel covering our 6. Doesn't really have to do that. We can keep running to the front of the line. Everyone else will be fine. See, now we got some daylight. We gotta deal with the door, pick up all this ammo, get ready,
Here, give me a boost.
because here they come.
That window.
Open it from the other side.
Make it fast.
Come on, Sam. You're not staying in here. What about you? I'll be fine. Come on. Go.
Get ready.
Here we go.
Good old machete, Bill's weapon, Bill's melee weapon of choice. Cloudy says, Super Antonio, what's your favorite chapter in The Last of Us? That is a great question. I think Bill's town. I really like the relationship between Joel and Bill. There's one scene where Joel's just, you know, they've got like a little shorthand to their language, and Joel's like, Joel just goes Bill, and Joel goes, or Joel goes Bill, and Bill goes Joel, and it's really funny. I think they use Tess as a buffer, and I bet because we know a little bit about Bill. I bet Bill has unresolved feelings about Joel. And Joel might even sense that, but, he's just kind of wondering why Bill's always so weird around him. But yeah, I like Bill's town, and I like that upside down challenge, and I like how Ellie is just being a klepto and stealing everything of Bill's.
How you doing, old man?
Ellie is kind of a klepto,
Yeah. Not one of our finest moments, but
but it's survival, and there's no rules, and it's the apocalypse. And this is also it's not technically one of my favorite chapters, but it's one of my favorite scenarios is the sniper.
Find a way around to it.
The sniper situation, which we will not deal with tonight. That's about all I have for you tonight, friends.
As usual, right? When I was with Henry,
We're ending a little early.
myself. Proud.
Cloudy says, my favorite chapter is the university. I'll tell you, my least favorite chapter is winter. I hate David. I hate what he puts Ellie through. I hate seeing Ellie cry. But I do love the when they get reunited. Also note that Joel does not rescue Ellie. He comes to get her, and
Well, that wasn't a good
but Ellie rescues herself because the Force is female, and you're not allowed to rescue women anymore if you're a man. Not even in this video game. But, even before, it's still a very emotional scene, even with the injection of modern day politics. And
Oh, yeah. Totally.
and Ellie can take down a cannibal raider who literally weighs twice as much as she does.
Yeah, well,
But, we're on Ellie's side, so of course you can.
isn't that right, Joel?
Anyways, that's coming up. Garages are always good for supplies. Usually we can find arrows here. We never have enough arrows, and the bow is my favorite weapon. Craft some health items. Won't really need them. A lot of times Joel will craft just so we can pick up supplies. That's the only way to really max out on stuff we need. And there's a workbench around here somewhere. Can you hear Sadie snoring? Or she's just breathing heavily. She's settled in for the night. She's comfortable around you guys, and she can sleep. You should be flattered. She won't sleep in front of anybody, but she doesn't think you're strangers. She thinks you're friends. She feels safe. And speaking, there is a safe here. It's by the ice cream truck. I suppose we'll get it in the next playthrough because, and then we've got this, the upgrade animation. This is new to the PS5. And I know Papa One likes this. See, that's why we needed the tool. They go in Joel's tool bag and they help us, upgrade. Mama one says, does Sadie wake up to go outside at night usually? No, and if she does, it's usually an emergency poop. And we can just go on the balcony. I have the balcony set up for her. We got a little garden there. It's very convenient, so we don't have to go outside. But no, she's usually, we've usually taken care of all that on the second or the third walk. Upgrade the bow. Got 134 bolts. There, you can see Papa One that that Joel will break down his weapons and just fool around with them and and like tweak them. Good old Bolty. You can put a scope on this that I don't really use because it's not that effective. And where'd he get that second barrel? He's just carrying that around, and now he's got time to swap it out. He's got a little Allen wrench, his multi-tools. Armor piercing rounds, very convenient, super expensive. Hi. I'm glad you're up. Tell everyone to like and subscribe. And here's Shorty. See, it's got a clip. But I think we're out. I think we can do reload. Shorty's very, very convenient. Much more powerful than the revolver. So we upgrade these guys as much as we can. In New Game Plus, they will remain upgraded. Same with Joel, but you won't get him like when you start the game. You get him organically as the game proceeds. So we still have to go through the sewers to get Shorty. We still start with the automatic, with the 9mm.
Yeah.
Ice cream truck.
They sell ice cream out of the truck.
Sam and Ellie have a conversation about ice cream trucks, even though I bet they've never even had ice cream. Ice cream doesn't exist in this world.
Creepy music and kids would come running out to buy ice cream.
You're totally fucking with me.
Serious.
Man, you lived in a strange time.
Told you so.
It's cute. It's a teachable moment. And yes, my friends, that's about all I have for you tonight. Shout out to the mods, Mama One and Papa One and Miko Herptile. Appreciate you, friends. Great talking to you, Cloudy. And we got a new sub. I appreciate that. Thank you. What else was I going to say? Tomorrow night is Batman Arkham Knight. I will, as always, leave the chat open for you guys, so you can talk amongst yourselves if you want to. Still thinking about a 24-hour stream. We'll definitely do one for like Halloween birthday, but I would like to do one sooner, but I just don't feel emotionally prepared. Like and subscribe. Thank you, friends, for being here. Thank you for listening to me ramble on. Sadie says good night, and we'll see you tomorrow for Batman Arkham Knight with the new Batman 66 skin, so he looks both glorious and ridiculous. Thank you, friends. We'll see you tomorrow night.
Keep your eyes peeled.
Ellie, found another one of them comics you've been reading.
Oh, I'll read that later. Hey, Ellie! I think we found something. Let's go see what it is.